Hey guys, welcome back. It's Mapper here today with another episode of 86. So, yeah, we had a bit of a break last week. Things happened, of course. So, I guess the entirety of 86 is gonna be more delayed than usual. I believe in totality it has like what 23 episodes. So, 21, so like maybe 4 more episodes after this one. It's probably going to go into January. But hey, better late than never, I guess. So yeah. Anyways, continuing on where we left off, let's see. Shinei and the others are still behind enemy lines trying to chase after Kiri and that railgun thing, and I guess that's all we need to know for now, right? So they are going to continue their pursuit and I guess eventually find a way back some way or another. So with that in mind, let's just get right into the episode. Alright, let's begin in 3, 2, 1, play. Alright, 11 hours since the operation started. Anti-radar weapon. So it's kind of like chaff? That's kind of funny because, using something like this, which is essentially a very, very old kind of tactic. Considering this is like, what, 20, 30 years into the future? I mean, it is kind of weird though. This is something that I've been talking about throughout the entire 86 series, right? We have all the drama and discrimination and all that blah 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 kind of stuff, but I am quite interested in like the military capabilities and what they actually use because I'm kind of like a military nerd like that. And a lot of their, beyond like the sort of robo mechas, whatever you want to call them, a lot of the tech that they're using is still most decidedly, modern, right? Modern in our sense. It doesn't really look futuristic. Like their technology is definitely a weird mix between modern day and future age, and something more old school as well. I mean, I guess I probably shouldn't draw parallels between that and our normal world. I mean, presumably it's not based on Earth, right? Alright. Pontably. Pontably. That French? Or... Hmm.
お前が頭おかしいのは昔からだが、さっきの戦闘は極めつきだ。引きずられてたぞ。
Okay. So they are gonna talk about this.
一体どうした？別に。それでごまかせてるつもりか、このバカ。ごまかしてる。いかんながら長い付き合いだからな。お前自身が見えてねえもんもちっとは見えてる。
Right, this is the part where the best friend punches some sense into his friend, I guess. I don't highly doubt he will actually punch him.
だったら、お前たちこそフレデリカを連れて戻れ。アシテマトイを連れて行くくらいなら、一人で追った方がいい。なんだと。もし帰れなくなるなら俺一人で十分だ。帰ってやるつもりがあるなら、わざわざ帰れない道に進むことなんかない。そうやっててめえ一人犠牲になれ済むなんて考えてんじゃねえぞ。何が帰れなくなったらだ。帰ってこねえみてえな言い方してんじゃねえ。別に死ぬつもりは。ああ、そうだろうよ。けどお前今生きて帰ってくるつもりもなかったろうが。兄貴を撃ってやったのは何のためだ。先に進むためだったんじゃねえのか。兄貴撃つために生きてきたんじゃねえだろ。飽き違えてんじゃねえよ。ならそれなら何のためだ。何のためなら俺は。俺は死にたくねえ。それだけだ。それで十分だと思ってる。多分他の奴らも同じだろうぜ。お前の道だ。お前が決めろ。ただこれで
I like that transition of the in focus, out focus there.
きついって言うなら休んでろ。だから一人で戦おうとすんじゃねえ。なんか僕だけ阻害されてるっていうか、微妙に同じ男扱いされてない気がするんだよね。
Come on, don't get in the way of their romance, dude.
私たちと会う前にもいろいろあったみたいだし。そうなのか。暴れないの。二人の喧嘩に吹っ飛んでったクレナちゃんが悪いんだから。犬の言うじゃったの。っていうかクレナがこういう時に突っ込んでっても話がややこしくなるだけだから、ちょっとは自重しようよ。そんなことないもん。確かにライデンが言ってた引きずられてるっていうのはそうかもね。シン、最近少しおかしいし。今から思うとあの時から変だったよね。絶対死ぬって分かってるのに行くような真似は自分も他の奴にもさせなかったのに。シンは大丈夫だよ。私たちを置いていったりしないよ。クレナはもうちょっとさ、向き合ってみた方がいいと思うよ。いつまでも追いかけてるだけじゃなくてさ。シンだっていつまでも僕たちのための死神じゃないんだよ。アンジュはずっとそれ心配してたよね。似たようなものだから。家族からいらないって言われた子供がどう考えてしまうのかは少しだけ知ってるわ。自分のせいなのかって思ってしまうの。頭ではそうじゃないって分かってても、自分を責める気持ちは消えないの。ましてシンくんは言われただけじゃなかったんでしょ。お兄さんから。一人じゃ消せないのよ、そういうのって。
Actually, I was kind of thinking about their situation, actually. You know, the 86 spearheads. I was thinking that they were talking about them being a family here. きっと初めて先に行くって言えたのにね。共和国無線で呼びかけても結局返事はないらしいから。 Oh, I thought it was because the major wasn't here.
子供の憧れや独占欲の類とみなされておる感じじゃのう。妹扱い、それも天の
And of course it's Federica. That that is perceptive about this. Yeah, I think a bit of a wake-up call wouldn't be too bad. If you really want to have a chance, Karina. Well, at least they got their spirits up. You know, even though I keep on saying, I'm not thinking, they might be different from, like, Earth and all that, I'm still pretty damn sure that the setting of this is in Europe. Oh, really? So they aren't actually that far from them, eh? It's almost one day after the operation started. 120 kilometers. Hmm.
長く使えるならそれに越したことはない。万が一にもレギオンに取り込まれたのでは。
See, I think that is the much more reasonable way that I feel the Confederacy should have treated them. At least the military brass, anyways.
了解です。こちとらいつでも行けます。なんせこの通り極めて身軽ですからね。注意たちが心配かしら、軍曹。お言葉そのままお返ししますよ。やれるだけのことはやったもの。あとは信じるしかないわ。って万が一にってレギンレイブの予備機と弾薬と修理部品、整備クルーごと後方から運ばせてるんでしょ。輸送機の手配だってあれから参謀長閣下に無理やりねじ込んでらして。あら、軍曹だって後方に下がればって言ったのに聞かなかったじゃない。そりゃカッコつかねえでしょうよ。でっかいムカデ捕まえたって帰ってきたらおっさんどもはみっともなく飲んだくれてたとか。未来英語バカにされるんだね。
True that.
あのクソガキどもにね。
Little ants taking down the big prey, eh?
これでラフィングフォックスも損傷か。思った以上に損耗がひでえな。私とアンジュは昨日の戦闘で破片食らってるし、ライデンも吹っ飛ばされた時に機銃片方折れちゃったもんね。無事なのはアンダー
The other day. It was literally yesterday, wasn't it?
いや、こっちも昨日から駆動系の調子が悪い。最初の戦闘で負荷をかけすぎたみたいだ。お前、すぐ足回りぶっ壊すそのくせ、まだ直してねえのか。しばらくは整備でごまか
Are they following along the rails? I presume so.
了解。
Yet another abandoned town. You know, I just keep on. It's funny, but you know, the instant I saw Federica, I had the feeling that she was, or you know, the Federacy itself was Russian. I don't know if that makes sense or not. But if, you know, we have the Republic be Germany, the Federacy be Russian, United Kingdom be United Kingdom, and all that. I don't know if it makes sense or not, but that's how I feel, anyways.
わらわもない。このような景色も知らなんだ。知らぬものばかりじゃ。海に行きたい。海水浴とやらがしてみたいぞ。きっと楽しかろう。海か。確かに行ってみたいかも。
どうせなら南の島がいいかな。サンゴ礁とかヤシの木とかあるとこ。白い砂浜のさ。
反対に北の氷の海も見てみたいわよね。特に気温が低い時は上を歩けるんですって。
すごい。
よく知ってるな。
旅行のパンフで見たことあってね。
What's a shin?
行こう。戦争が終わったらみんなで。
Maybe gathered a bit more will to live? Yep. Almost 2 full days.
ファイド。明日起こすまで待機状態に切り替えておけと命じたろ。わかった。好きにしろ。
珍しく喋っておると思えば、相手はファイドか。
どうした？
They're actually using MREs with their little heaters there.
ずっと見ておった。実に美しかった。あんな景色の中だけでそなたらが生きてきたのじゃとしたら、わかる気がしたんじゃ。そなたらが人類の存亡にも、自らの生き死にさえにも、ひどく突き放した見方をしておる理由がな。あの美しさも、この地に住む人間がおらんからじゃ。そんな光景が、レギオンらの望みなのかの。
Right.
何も望んでなんていないのかもしれない。あいつらは亡霊だ。亡霊は本来何も望まないものだ。
なぜわかる？
俺も同じだから。あの夜死に損なって、多分俺はまだ死んだままだ。あの夜から何も望めてはいない。海を見たいとは俺は思わない。やりたいことも
Oh? Well, then why do you continue to carry on the will of your comrades?
夕方みたいにあんな程度のやりたいことでさえ何も出てこないのはおかしいっていうのは少し分かった。
でも楽しかったであろう。去年の秋は86区を出た時じゃ。何もかも自ら決めて進んだ。初めて手にした た自由じゃったんじゃろ。
楽しかった。すぐに終わると思っていたから、誰にも知られず散るものだと。けど生き延びてしまって、死ぬはずだった俺には未来なんて長すぎて。俺はお前の騎士じゃない。それは分かっていたのに、悪かったな。お前の騎士を言い訳にした。行き着く果てまで進むことに変わりはないけど、その先に兄さんはもういないから、当面代わりになる目的を持ちたかったんだと思う。
それだけではないと思うがの。そなたは少し鏡の見方が間違っておることも自覚すべきじゃ。そなたはそなた自身が思うておるほど冷酷な太刀ではないわ。お人よしの死神が。少なくともわらわはそなたが応じてくれたからキリを解放してやれる。戦場の奥深く囚われ泣いておる様は哀れであった。解放してやりたかった。その嘆きを見続ける定めから解放する。
No, I think it doesn't even matter if Shin has something long term at the moment. Just one goal from now to another, just to keep him going at this point.
わらわはこの連邦ではいらぬ子供じゃ。共和制となったこの国で生きているだけで騒乱の火種となる厄災の子じゃ。いない方が誰のためにもよい。それでもいつか我が騎士を討ち取ってやるため生きながらえねばならぬと思うておったが、キリが撃たれればその言い訳ものうなってしまう。それが怖い。そなたが今進むことにおののいておるのは、そなたが正しく先を見据えようとしたからじゃ。道なき行く手を直視しようとしたからじゃ。
いや、
それは恥じることではなかろうし、その間くらい共に行く者どもを支えとすればよい。仲間とは人と人とが共にあろうとするのはそのためであるぞ。
ライデンにもそう言われたけど、
ならば素直に受け止めることじゃ。
俺はあいつらとは違う。望むものがないのは生きようと思っていないことだ。俺だけがまだまともに生きていない、ただの死神だ。俺をそう呼ぶあいつらもいつか必ず先に行ってしまう。
Like I said, it's not that I don't understand his predicament, but I feel at this point in time, he just needs to go forward, one goal at a time, 1 foot at a time. Nope. Oh. Really? Well, I guess if you know, the Confederacy was able, right, that chief of staff dude, if he was able to establish connections with them, it could most presumably be traced as well. That's why you typically maintain radio silence when you're doing covert ops. Alright, see you guys after this. Alright, so we once again have another one of those calm before the storm, I guess introspective kind of episodes, and I mean at least we know a little bit more about what Shin is actually thinking, right, because this is literally one of the few times when we actually get him to speak up and say what is actually on his mind, and as well thanks to Federica, of course, and so we can get this kind of admission from him, and as we all know, the first step towards fixing a problem is by admitting you have a problem. So, I mean, I can totally see where Shin is at this point, compared to all the others who have something to look forward to, who want to continue living on and, living lives and continue to have a life right after the war. Shin apparently doesn't, right? Well, I guess maybe this has something to do with his past trauma and whatnot, which I don't think we will be able to fully understand until we get really a full explanation of, what he was brought up in and, the full extent of what his sort of family, what his past actually means in the grand scheme of things, right? But, for the moment, I have to say, as long as he can hop from one goal to another at this point in life, hey, I think that should be enough to keep him going, right? We can clearly see that he still has needs and wants, right? He's not as much as he likes to say this, that he doesn't have any long-term prospects or anything of that sort. We can clearly see that he still has some short-term wants, needs, and desires, right? Including that of keeping, his teammates safe, keeping Federica safe, right? Helping Federica, or ensuring I guess it was kind of taken care of, but the sort of allowing his former comrades to be remembered and to be brought back to a final resting place, things of that sort. So it's not like he's completely emotionless and just this cold calculating robot, right? So in spite of all this, and in spite of all the sort of drama and theatrics that they're making this out to be, I still feel that, hey, as long as he still has these feelings within him, it's fine to go from one short-term goal to another short-term goal, at least to get him through it, right? And I feel like that by itself should sufficiently anchor him to this place and not cause him to go completely haywire, right? No, I say that, but indeed, in these past few episodes, we have been seeing him continuing to fly off the handle, but he's not completely gone yet, right? So, as long as things can keep up, I think there is still hope for him yet. But, beyond that, though, let's see, what are some other parts that I really wanted to talk about from this episode? I guess one other thing to mention is in regards to the Federacy's treatment of the 86, right? Particularly that chief of staff. So that's the whole point that I have been trying to make throughout these past 4 or 5 episodes, and that is I don't really get the sort of discriminatory attitude that some elements of the Federacy have shown, and I feel like from the way that the story writing and plot has been advancing is kind of like a big deal to us as well, right? They're sort of pushing that sort of ostracization from the main forces onto us and showing this element of the 86 being discriminated even here in the Federacy. But I feel like that dude's assessment of the situation falls much more in line with what I feel, actual competent military commanders should have been saying all along, and, actually competent military forces would see all along. And from what we can see here, the Federacy is definitely vastly different from the sort of corrupt forces within the Republic, right? Who really can't really be called too much of a military anymore, the vast majority of them. The Federacy, they're clearly still in it to win it, and they know how much of a battle that they are up against. They know how much of a fight they are up against and the true dangers of the Legion. So they should be absolutely ecstatic that they have a fighting force like the 86 working for them. And so and really that's been my entire point about this particular mission and these recent events as well. And they are most suitable for their job, and they should actually be given the full extent of resources to ensure that they can get the job done, which we can clearly see that the Federacy is respecting as well, what with mounting multiple offenses and distractions and diversions and so on and so forth, right? I do feel like they are trying their best to provide support to the 86, even if it's not entirely well received from Shin and the others, or maybe not entirely all that made well known by what we've seen so far. But still, I am glad that we are getting more into that kind of a mindset and showing more of that kind of mindset from the others at this point. Because, as I said before numerous times, I feel like the entire kicking them down because they are 86, because they are foreigners, because they are, out there is kind of getting old real quick. What else? I guess one last thing. I feel like this episode itself was quite straightforward and whatnot. So not really too much to add on the actual plot or the actual things discussed. But one thing I do want to point out that I guess I've pointed out before, but in this episode, I'm gonna be entirely honest here. I'm not all that interested in all these sort of self-loathing and all that. Like, I get it, right? It's part of the story, blah blah blah, but we know he's gonna eventually get over it. So I was actually paying attention to a lot of other stuff in regards to the scenes and whatnot, especially in the scene where Shin and Raiden were having that little heart to heart there, right? Romance. Of course, you gotta get the cliche best friend slapping some sense into the main character. Although in this case, he didn't really he didn't really go that far, but it was the general idea was there, right? But what I really wanted to draw attention to during that particular scene is how just how stunning the cinematography was in terms of the scenes, right? You got, like, seriously, if you look closely, they were changing camera perspectives. I use the term camera perspective because it's more of a movie thing, right? And obviously animation is drawn by scene by scene, but what I'm saying is the way that the scene changes, how it focuses, they have different focuses, right? Sometimes having the focus centered on the person talking, sometimes having the focus be in the background, and then using different perspectives, like top-down perspectives, using shadows to sort of to sort of extend the feelings and extend the sort of how can I say, the solemnness of the situation and whatnot. I think it's really brilliant, right? So regardless of anything else, I mean, I said this back in the first I guess, considering what you want to call it, the first season, first core, or whatnot. But there were many times when I felt the sort of camera work, the cinematography, the sort of planning of the scenes was absolutely stellar. And I guess I haven't noticed it as much in this second core because I feel like the sort of emotional aspects and more straightforward emotional, like, don't get me wrong, I love the emotional aspects back in the first core as well, but those were a lot more subtle, right? In this second part, I feel like a lot of the emotions are much more straightforward, I guess, in no small part due to Federica's addition to the cast and whatnot. But still, with all that happening, I think it's easy to focus on that and not and draw focus away from the fact that this is really a stunning anime in terms of its visuals, its animation, in terms of how it portrays the scenes, and in terms of the scene selection as well. So, no, I mean it's been great throughout the entirety of this. Don't get me wrong. I mean it's great animation throughout, but there are these little more subtle things I feel that really drives home just how much of an art that they are, how much they are trying to make each scene or each frame, if you will, into artwork as well, and show that sort of artistic direction in terms of how they portray it. I mean, like, some parts of it are obvious, right? Like the scene where they were where Shin and the others were looking out, staring across like this vast field, and having the sunset and whatnot. And sure, we can look at that and understand that that it's supposed to be a beautiful scene, it's supposed to be a stunning scene, and things like that. Or I guess like sort of the sort of camera work where it shows us a shot of the entirety of Shin and the others within their machines, that sort of like moving long shot, if you will. But some things are a little more subtle, like in terms of that little discussion that Shinei and Raiden had, and I really enjoyed that a lot. But yeah, anyways, I think that's pretty much all I want to say for this episode. So thank you guys, and I will see you guys next time. Bye bye.